What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we get one of the bigger mid-season updates that we've seen in Destiny 2, coming in the form of update 3.2.1. We're pretty much bang in the middle of the season, so separate to the changes we're going to mention in the video, today we do get the launch of Solstice of Heroes, with the expected armor grind, return to the European aerial zone, but also a new shotgun up for grabs. And then Master Difficulty Vault of Glass goes live as well, so we've got new Time Lost weapon variants, and we are going to cover the new content over the course of the reset. However, in this video we're going to touch on the patch changes, so there are some good fixes today, but also weapon tuning. We've got some exotic changes, both buffs and nerfs. The same can be said for some legendary archetypes and perks. Then there are also some changes which will affect Gunsmith, other activity adjustments, and Reprise destination weapons. So if you want a bit of a roundup of what to expect today, let's get into the changes, and if you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more updates. But initially, getting into some of the general changes, Bungie say they've resolved an issue causing players on PlayStation consoles to receive persistent beagle errors. Additionally, Assassin's Cowl no longer clips through the majority of hunter cloaks, and armor with glows will properly display their glow when transmogged over another armor set that also has glows. For more substantial changes though, Bungie say gunsmith weapons will no longer be missing masterwork slots. Of course, Banshee's weapons have been bugged and some of them don't have that masterwork slot available. DMG also confirmed that the fix today won't touch gunsmith weapons we've already acquired. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it will prevent weapons from lacking those masterworks in the future. So of course the big positive there is that anything Banshee has moving forward will have that masterwork slot available, which is going to be nice when those tasty weapon rolls come around. Now though, let's speak about exotic changes to expect today. And firstly, for the Boots of the Assembler, for our Warlock friends, they say they've returned to their former Rift-tastic glory, essentially being buffed back up to the state that they were in when the season launched, but additionally, after the update, empowering Noble Seekers will properly proc Benevolent Dawn for attunement of Grace Warlocks. And so they should be pretty good. But for Sleeper Simulant, they fixed an issue where the weapon was benefiting less than other linear fusion rifles from the season of the Splicer linear fusion rifle precision damage buff, and the total buff is now 16.5% compared to the 15% buff that other linear fusion rifles received. So it's going to be pretty interesting testing that one out. But also there is Dead Man's Tail. Bungie have said a couple of times that it's a very dominant weapon on mouse and keyboard. Primarily this can be a bit of an issue in Crucible, so they have removed the hip-fire damage fall-off scaler, and so it'll only get that 1.8 times damage scaling when you're actually aiming down sights, not when you're firing from the hip. And also the aim assist cone angle hip scaler has been reduced from 1.5 to 1.2, so it's going to have a little bit less aim assist when firing from the hip. Give us any thoughts you have about that. There's also going to be an update to previous Solstice of Heroes ornaments, and so they've created universal ornaments for previous Solstice of Heroes armor sets. These ornaments will be available for players who obtained glows for the armor pieces in 2018 or 2019. They'll be unlocked for all three classes, and their glow color will change to match the player's subclass. They do say though that with limited time development, the team was able to get these ornaments together for players who owned them in the previous years, but they may return for new players to purchase with silver or bright dust in the future. However, it won't be happening this year. That's a pretty interesting one right there. Give us any thoughts you have about it. However, moving back to weapon tuning, and for some archetypes in the game, for shotguns, they say, with the ability to quickly follow up rising in importance, we expect faster firing shotguns to eat into aggressive shotguns' dominance, and other special weapons to be more viable after the update that we're getting. So, for shotguns, they've increased the aggressive frame shotgun cone angle from 4 to 4.25 degrees. They've also reduced shotgun damage fall-off minimum by 2 meters, increased shotgun damage fall-off maximum by 2 meters, and they note that slug shotguns won't be affected by this change. And so essentially in terms of one-shot kills, the range on those shotguns has been toned back a bit. Then for aggressive 120 RPM hand cannons, Bungie say they think they're still too rangy and benefit way too much from small damage buffs, granting the ability to 2-tap. And so, they've reduced precision damage multipliers from 1.8 to 1.6, preventing a 10% damage bonus from allowing 2-tapping in PvP. They've also reduced aim assist minimum fall-off distance by 1 to 2 meters, depending on the range stat that the weapon has, and reduced the damage minimum fall-off distance by 1 meter, which reduces their damage fall-off advantage over other hand cannons to 1 meter. So they'll be benefiting from a few of the damage bonuses in the game a little bit less, as well as those adjustments to range. So again, give us your thoughts about those those changes. But there are also some changes to perks today. So for drop mag, it can no longer roll on new drops of weapons and is going to have its functionality changed later on. There is a change coming in Season 15 that requires adjusting this and some perks with similar functionality. So bear in mind that isn't going to be dropping now and will be adjusted later. But also for Pulse Monitor, they fixed an issue where handling bonus was no longer being applied. With Rewind Rounds, they fixed a problem where the perk wouldn't trigger if the last shot in a magazine missed, or if the player reloaded another weapon before firing the final shot. So that's good, but also for Reservoir Burst, they say they've seen complaints that the detonation on kills doesn't feel that reliable or impactful, so it's been updated with the same consistency and speed fix as Dragonfly. So it should be a more reliable bonus to use in general moving forward. Now, for Reprise weapons, of course, the Moon and Dreaming City are having some of their weapons reprised and available with new bonuses. They say all of the weapons are going to drop from their original sources on the respective destination, but of course there won't be any power caps and they get some new perks, so we're going to be able to get Tunnel Vision on the Loud Lullaby, the One Small Step is back with Trench Barrel, and then we're going to be able to roll Frenzy on Tranquility, Heating Up on Arc Logic, the new bonus Cornered on the Dreambreaker, and then every waking moment we'll be able to get Killing Wind. Love and Death will be able to roll Chain Reaction. We're also going to be able to get Adrenaline Junkie on a Fine Memorial, and One for All will be able to roll on Night Terror. So all of those will be dropping from the original sources on the Moon. Be a good time to revisit the Lectern. But additionally, over in the Dreaming City, we're going to get Tiger Spite with Frenzy able to roll. The Twilight Oath will be updated with Vorpal Weapon, and we'll be able to roll Thresh on Abide the Return. So it'll be good to have a few of those to go after again, and if any of these are old favourites of yours, it'll be a good time to go and hunt new relevant versions of them. Finally, right here for a few additional fixes. Nothing too crazy, but in the Expunge Styx mission for Season of the Splicer, they fixed a problem where the Code Strider platform over the boss would fail and wouldn't have the appropriate collision in certain circumstances, so essentially falling through the platform. And for Tataris, they've also fixed Code Strider platforms and an issue where defeating the boss before the second immunity phase would block mission completion. So we should be able to absolutely nuke that boss with no issue moving forward. In the Inverted Spire, they fixed a problem where players who died in the drill area could have their ghosts appear far back in the strike, and ghosts will now appear at set safe locations in the drill area. In Momentum Control, they're decreasing trace rifle damage, but Bungie say they haven't done it significantly because they do appreciate that some folks actually enjoy the laser tag element of Momentum Control. So they're going to see how a small change works out before touching it again. And then in terms of gameplay, they fixed a problem where slow duration from Withering Blade didn't increase with Whisper of Durance. Another problem where Stormcallers couldn't use Ionic Blink while slowed by stasis, but also where Diamond Lance could be generated by throwing a Glacier Grenade into a pile of Telesto projectiles. And they fixed a few bugs in which abilities were not properly costing Sentinel Shield energy when guarding, and that includes Celestial Fire, Withering Blade, Shiver Strike, Glacial Quake, and Silence and Squall. And so, altogether, especially when you consider this update is also carrying Master Vault of Glass, all of those new time-lost weapons, and then everything for the Solstice of Heroes, it is a fairly significant update to get bang in the middle of a season. And for this video, guys, that summarizes the bulk of the important changes that we're going to see inside of the patch. So let us know your thoughts on any of the adjustments we're seeing. And as always, I hope the video has been a useful one. If it has, a like rating down below really does help us out. But also, I'll be keeping you posted on the new content throughout the course of the week, so be sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications if you want to stay up to date with everything related to the game. For now though, thank you very much for tuning in, and whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.